Hi, folks. So every now and again, we get asked whether we can provide data on deceased funds or merged funds. And the quick answer to that is yes. Essentially, the data is hidden from you initially. So as a user, when you go into analytics, all of these drop-down boxes are only showing you live funds that are available to invest in today. As you can imagine, there are thousands and thousands of funds that we collected data on many, many years ago and then since died or merged. That data still lives in analytics in the kind of in the background. And if you wanted to bring them back to life, so to speak, there are ways of getting at that data. So you can start illustrating it maybe against other solutions. The way in which kind of the portal at which you can utilize analytics to get at that data is basically through that portfolio tab. So if you go and create yourself a brand new portfolio, and on the left-hand side here, if you've got the ISIN, CEDAL, CityMax Epic of a fund that you know that has died or merged, or just the name of it, you should be able to find it on its name as well. If you click on this button here, and it will search the entire database, basically all universes, and what you'll find is any dead fund will come up as inactive, and it will tell you there when the last price. So the last price we collected was 2020, so it's 2024 now. So it's been dead now for about 4 years. If you pop that into your portfolio just by clicking that little green arrow and then come back, see it's been added to my portfolio. And if I then type in, let's just give this 100% weighting for the purpose of this demo, and I'll just save this as 7IM dead fund. Click on save and give that a second. And you'll see when the screen refreshes, it will actually turn red to indicate that the fund is no longer active. We're not collecting prices on it on a daily basis, and it will give you the date stamp: born in 2015, died in 2020. Now, if I come back to the main screen, I won't be able to create like a 5-year performance graph coming up to today because there is no data since 2020. But you'll see if I do some things with this, so if I create a line chart start of data and click on generate, and load that up, it will go all the way back to 2015 and show you the kind of the lifespan of that fund all the way up to when we stopped collecting the data back to 2020. So as I said, the data's there in the background. You've just got to almost recall it in a portfolio and then access it in this way. Now, there's also nothing stopping you if maybe for the purpose of this, maybe this fund deceased and maybe a new fund was kind of born off the back of it, and this is essentially the old history, and then it maybe had a name change or whatever the reason. You can basically glue them together. That's now the history in a portfolio. And if I knew what the new fund was, I'm just going to make this up as I go along here. But if I start a brand new portfolio, I've already got that portfolio back on the main screen, so I can import it here. There we go. Comes in my dead fund, 7IM dead fund. I could also just go and select the fund down here. I'll give it 100% weighting. I can't remember in June 2015 when it died, but I'm just going to put a date stamp here and say 1st of July 2015 is when this new portfolio was born. There we go. And I'm just going to call this dead fund example, save. And what I can then do, again, I'm just going to pick a random 7IM fund here to illustrate this. It was sometime in 2020, wasn't it? So if I now create a new tab, I should have made a note of those dates, but I'm doing this on the fly. Let's pretend, I'm just going to go back just to ensure I definitely have got the right data. Let's just pretend it was 2019, because again, I don't have the exact date. So on the 1st of 1st, 2019, what took place? Well, in my scenario here, I'm going to replace that history with the new fund. Again, I'm just making this up. Let's just pretend it's that one. And I'm going to bring that across, get rid of the old one, replace it 100% and click on save. And within a few seconds, I know it's quite a few clicks of a mouse, but within a few seconds, I've created a brand new portfolio that goes right the way up till today. And then on the 1st of 1st, 2019, which is my imaginary date of inception of this fund, it will then refer back to the old history. In other words, if I come back to this main screen and add this dead fund example in, now I go and create a performance chart from start of data. It will go all the way back to 2015. It will come all the way to 2020 when, where is it? The join line was 2019, wasn't it? So I think it's there. So that's the imaginary date of inception, and then the new fund data thereafter. So I've basically taken the old data that was killed off, joined it to the new data, and created almost kind of synthetic history. Also worth pointing out, just lastly, this is also particularly relevant when you're building a model portfolio that maybe uses data. Maybe you're trying to build it from the ground up today and you're looking back 5-6 years, but there are certain funds that have since died. Well, I'll give you an example. If we go into any one of our FE model portfolios here. These models have been going back to 2012, so I suspect if I go back to 2012, I'll see quite a few of these dead funds in here. There we go. LG UK Alpha Trust, Global Bond. These funds have since died. They're still in our model portfolio because when we have our users track the performance of that model back to 2012, we still want those funds affecting the performance of that model. Just because they're not available today, well, they were available when we were investing in them. Hence why they should affect the performance. But you'll see as you go along these tabs along the top here, as and when these funds died, clearly we wouldn't have been investing in them because they were impossible to invest in them. They were dead. So you'll find that we slowly would have removed them from the portfolio. So lots of different uses there, but yeah, if you do ever need funds that have merged or died, then you're likely to find them under that portfolio tab, and you can make portfolios from them. There are certain exceptions to that. It depends on what's happened. Sometimes the provider will merge that fund into another fund, and they will ask us to completely remove all the old history. So there will be occasions where funds have died and merged, and we won't have the old data on them. It depends on kind of the scenario and what's actually happened. So it's not foolproof. There will be some we don't have, but for the most part, when a fund dies, we will try and retain that history and make it available to you in analytics. Hope that's useful. As ever, contact us down here if you've got any questions for the help desk, and live chat in the bottom right. Thanks for watching.